J.J. McCarthy is on the top 5 list, most pressured quarterbacks in the NFL.
He'll be viewed through wins and losses, unlike some of these other quarterbacks.
He went 27-1 at Michigan and won back-to-back Big Ten titles.
J.J. McCarthy over the middle, caught, touchdown Wolverine!
He delivered a national title to Ann Arbor, playing with ice water in his veins, and in the 2024 draft, he was taken 10th overall and crowned Minnesota Savior before ever taking a snap.
With the 10th pick, the Minnesota Vikings select
J.J. McCarthy,
quarterback.
Then came training camp and the preseason, and with one awkward step, that ground everything to a halt. And just like that, the J.J. McCarthy project hit pause before it ever got rolling. The Minnesota Vikings drafted J.J. McCarthy to compete with Sam Darnold, but after tearing his meniscus in the preseason against the Raiders, J.J. was forced to take a seat.
I really didn't feel it until the next day, when my knee started to buckle going down the stairs, and I was like, I should get this checked out.
No starts, no spotlight, just silence as he watched Sam Darnold tear up the league by throwing for 4,300 yards and 35 touchdowns, leading the Vikings into the playoffs.
A 97-yard touchdown from Sam Darnold!
And for a minute, it looked like the Vikings had stumbled onto something special. The guy who was supposed to be the bridge to McCarthy finished QB9. The Vikings front office was over the moon until Darnold asked to get paid. The Vikings weren't interested in shelling out QB1 money to a guy who was supposed to be a Band-Aid. So they pointed to 2 in-season losses to the Lions and a beatdown by the Rams in the playoffs and told Darnold to take a walk. He did, and then signed a $100 million deal with Seattle, all while J.J. McCarthy was still holding a clipboard and rehabbing his knee. Then the rumors started. Aaron Rodgers wanted back in, and he was eyeing Minnesota. Daniel Jones was on the block in New York. 2 quarterbacks with years of experience and the price tags to match. But the Vikings didn't bite. They ignored Rodgers and passed on Jones because their eyes had been locked on the future since the 2024 draft night. And now, in 2025, the knee is healthy and the silence ends. Minnesota is giving the keys to a 21-year-old with poise, a pedigree, and an arm, but 0 NFL snaps. Along with that promotion comes unimaginable pressure, but the Vikings have made their choice. J.J. McCarthy is the guy, and if he's not ready, their whole season burns. Because when you go all in on a guy with 0 NFL starts and he drives the franchise into a ditch, it's not just on him, it's on everyone who signed off on the gamble. But you'll never have to risk missing out on stories like this one if you hit like and subscribe after the video. At Michigan, all J.J. McCarthy did was win. In the Rose Bowl against Alabama, with the season on the line, he went 3 for 3 in overtime and walked the Wolverines off the field like it was drawn up in a dream. And yet, all the scouts saw was Michigan's smothering defense and a potential NFL star in Blake Corum. In the backfield with him, they saw a quarterback who didn't need to throw 40 times a game, so they assumed that he couldn't. Never mind the 72% completion rate, or the highest passer rating in Michigan history. Never mind the clutch throws versus Ohio State, or the rope he dropped in overtime against Bama. Because in NFL front offices, no one cared about what he did, they only focused on what he wasn't asked to do. At Michigan, his job was simple. Don't crash the Ferrari. And even though he did his job to perfection, JJ was still the 5th quarterback taken. Now, he is the Ferrari, and we're about to find out what he has under the hood. Because the NFL isn't Ann Arbor. There's no top-ranked defense to bail him out. No 24-point cushions at halftime or 5-star run game to lean on. McCarthy is getting his shot, and he has the talent around him in Minnesota to finish what Sam Darnold started in 2024. The question is, does he have what it takes to win at the next level, or is it all destined to crash and burn? Most rookie quarterbacks get thrown into chaos. They inherit gutted rosters, backup pass catchers, and head coaches just trying to save their jobs. J.J. McCarthy got something else entirely, though. He inherited a weaponized offense with a front office that cleared the runway months in advance. Justin Jefferson is still one of the best wide receivers in football, and he's not doing it alone now. Jordan Addison has become one of the league's most dangerous wide receiver twos, a precision route runner with afterburners and 0 fear over the middle. Together, they're a nightmare in motion, especially when TJ Hawkinson is flexed in as the 3rd read, dragging linebackers into no man's land. Then there's the backfield. Aaron Jones didn't come to Minnesota to wind down his career. He came to hunt. In 2025, he's healthy, pissed off, and running behind the best interior line he's had in years. Because the line in Minnesota is finally built to hold. The Vikings paid $88 million to bring in Will Fries and paired him with former All-Pro center Ryan Kelly. They drafted Donovan Jackson, an athletic mauler from Ohio State, to solidify the left side, but none of this was random. The Vikings made these moves because they knew who was next. Because of the injury, McCarthy is essentially still a rookie, but the rest of the roster is anything but inexperienced. The weapons are proven, the protection is in place, and Kevin O'Connell's system, straight from the Sean McVay tree, is designed to make smart quarterbacks look spectacular. Most rookies walk into a mess. JJ McCarthy is stepping into a machine, and if he presses the right buttons, that machine could be as dangerous as any in the league. But there are two sides to that coin, because standing in Minnesota's path to glory is an absolute gauntlet of a schedule from start to finish. Coming into 2025, the Vikings training camp is buzzing with electricity. JJ McCarthy has flashed the arm, the field vision, and the confidence, hitting hot-button throws in 11 of 12 open practices. After minicamp, he walked off the field with believers on the edge of their seats. But come week 1, hype becomes history. McCarthy and the Vikings open up their season under the lights at Soldier Field, his hometown stage, against the Bears on Monday Night Football. That's instant stakes in the oldest rivalry in football. Week 2 brings Sunday Night Football at home against Michael Penix in Atlanta. Week 3, Joe Burrow and the Bengals roll into town, hell-bent on starting fast in 2025. Then a brutal foreign tour follows, with back-to-back primetime games in Dublin and London against Pittsburgh and Cleveland. It's not a stretch to say that JJ McCarthy will begin his NFL career on the biggest stages and underneath the brightest lights of anyone to ever come into the league. The Vikings' opening schedule would test the resolve of the most seasoned veterans, while JJ literally has zero experience to lean on, and it doesn't get easier after that. In Week 7, Philly comes flying into US Bank Stadium, determined to repeat as Super Bowl champions. Then it's the West Coast at the Chargers, back home versus Baltimore. Then a December gauntlet against Dallas, New York, Detroit on Christmas Day, and the season finale flexed versus Green Bay. Minnesota's path to postseason reads more like a cruel joke than an NFL schedule. JJ McCarthy's training camp will quickly become a sprint through fire. So far in practice, he's shown he can fly through progressions on grass. In September, he'll have to prove he can do it under stadium lights, in front of foreign crowds, and against primetime pressure, elite rushers, and veteran defenses salivating at the chance to eat him up. Rookie mistakes won't stay hidden. They'll blow up on Monday, Sunday, and Thursday night. Any night, the lights find him. And in that atmosphere, the camp hero either becomes a leader or he crashes and burns under the brightest lights. The NFC North is anything but wide open. Detroit is deep, physical, and built like a playoff regular. The Bears have retooled everything around Caleb Williams, and the Packers have their guy in Jordan Love, who's already been through the fire. That leaves Minnesota not rebuilding, not reloading, but recentering around a 21-year-old quarterback who's never started an NFL game. And the message is crystal clear. This isn't a redshirt year. This isn't about easing in, learning slowly, or waiting for year 3. This is his team now. But McCarthy doesn't need to throw for 5,000 yards to prove it. He just needs to keep the car on the road, convert third downs, own the huddle, and win 10 games. If he can do that, Minnesota might have something they haven't had since Dante Culpepper in 2004, a true long-term answer under center. The Vikings aren't betting on flash or experience, they're banking on control, timing, and maturity beyond his years. The lights are on, the mic is hot, and JJ McCarthy has to prove that Minnesota's front office wasn't gambling when they paid up for him. They were investing in the future. They passed on Rodgers. They let a proven winner walk, and then Minnesota handed everything to JJ McCarthy, a kid who went 27-1 in college, then got iced. A year ago, he held a clipboard and was rehabbing his knee. Now he has the Vikings season in his hands. Now he walks into one of the most talented offenses in football and owns every ounce of expectation that comes with it. Because it's not about will he be ready, it's about something bigger. It's about whether he can lead right now. Will JJ start week 1 and hold the job all season, or is this too much, too soon? Drop your take in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because you're watching Snap Count, where projects become legends or get exposed trying.